goodness, 2056 or 57 days. Oh, wow. Let me make sure that I'm on. Yeah. Okay. My goodness, let's see, even live chat. 56 or 57 days. Oh, wow. Yeah. 2057 days. Let me turn this down, make sure I can see everybody. Thank you so much. I know I'm coming on really late again. It can't be helped because there is so much breaking news. Thank you so much. Today is 2057 days. It is March 20th, 2026. I should say that every day, put the date in there. Since Richard was forcibly removed from his barracks room there on Fort Bliss, taken downstairs in the same building to the basement room, and his life was taken from him brutally. He fought back. We have evidence that he damaged the perpetrator so bad that they had to go have emergency dental surgery done, dental treatment done. And but they stole his body off of Fort Bliss because this was an internal narco cartel infiltration of our military, of our government system, and they trafficked his body to Mexico. Evidence indicates they harvested his organs and they disposed of him there at Plenitud crematorium. The owners are, not some low level people. Okay. These are very wealthy people and with very, very high connections to the philanthropists. They themselves are probably philanthropists. Rosa Maria Purchase Arellano Caron. Her connections are very high up, and so you're going to see that this is a class that really exploits El Paso and Juárez. I would say Mexico. They're that powerful. This is a group of billionaires, and they operate together. Okay, they might be saying that we're a benefactor or we're so benevolent or whatever because we're philanthropists, but they're all in this evil criminal trafficking network somehow, some way. And you saw this coming out today, the very sad case with the organ harvesting, the 20 young people, very, very young teenagers that were kidnapped and organ harvested. And we know that crossing the border, many, many men didn't even lose their life. It just cost them to get into the United States a kidney, right? Just give your kidney. And so this has a lot to do with the medical system, with organ harvesting, with the black market. Maybe not even the black market, maybe through this system, from corneas. Corneas are a very big, and people don't really think of corneas so much as being like, oh my gosh, life threatening, or I don't know, everybody wants to see, right? They want to see. But this is a really very evil industry. It has turned into be really demonic and occultish even. And these people at very high places, and I would say even like El Mayo, and I'll show you his daughter's face. I have it right here. There's El Mayo, Mayo's eldest daughter. El Mayo Zambada, a billionaire, you know, uh, Sinaloa cartel, one of the founding. Um, you had the El Chapo and El Mayo that started the Sinaloa cartel. That's why you have different factions. And, it starts with drugs. And of course, with drugs, you need weapons. And then you need blackmailing. And so it goes into, well, then you need the human trafficking. And then it goes into big blackmail like children. And then it goes into um, to sustain it all, right? They want to keep sustaining this huge uh, criminal organization that they've been growing. And so they even enter into organ harvesting and the medical sector. So thank you so much, Laura, for coming on and translating into Spanish. God bless you for that. So this is, really gut wrenching. We've had to just put our emotions aside on this, which is you can't do really, but to go forward and to address it. And this has to be addressed. And President Trump is doing that today. You saw this. These 20 young people. This was being in the news. For it to be in the news in Mexico is a very big deal because Mexico is a narco state. And the news was saying that the Moreno, and I hope I'm saying all these names right, which is the party that is uh, in power right now with Scheinbaum, uh, are just folding their hands and not doing anything about these kidnappings for organ harvesting. And I just, I want to make a very, really clear point. What we have discovered in these over 5 years is that this government doesn't work for us like they're supposed to. They are part of this big um, billionaire clan, the criminal cartel. And that's why we call it the El Paso Mormon faction, cartel philanthropists, because we want, I think the TV and movies and um, all the news coverage makes us picture in our head that the cartel is some really thuggy looking dudes, right? Which I don't think they're all wrong on that. But when you get to the upper level, they're like Monica. They're like Monica, and she was arrested. Um, this was an American induced arrest, and I hope I'm saying this right, because the FBI met with the security secretary, I think the director, security director, who is really up for president, to take Scheinbaum's place, really. Um, and close after that meeting, they went and had her arrested with her husband. Um, I think 11 cartel members were killed in this. And what this tells you is that the security apparatus for these criminal elites, these transnational criminal organization leaders, kingpins, whatever you want to call them, has evaporated. And so those that are at this high level now I don't think they've ever seen anything like this. And she was arrested now. She was let go shortly after. And so what does that tell you? That tells you that they're hunting for information. And we believe it is the vicious negotiation for the repatriation of our son, Richard Halliday. because what they did to Richard was an act of war. And what they did to Richard in that act of war was to attack President Trump. And I have really stressed that. They uh, they were trying to stop any kind of support for him as far as legal whistleblower support. But also they were trying to affect the election and to paint a uh, like a racist narrative or whatever that was completely false. But they wanted to put sow division out there, and really they're the ones that are the dividers. Um, so that was everything to me, like everything that's wrong with our society right now, like with the mass shootings and the trafficking and the money laundering and the fuel theft and everything. I just it seems to all run back to this El Paso Mormon faction cartel, okay, in alliance with the Mexican cartels and the Iranian faction and the Chinese faction. It just it all seems, and we've done a lot of investigation, so I can get on live and say that because I have a lot to back it up, a lot of evidence to back it up. But I just wanted to put this face of Monica out there because this is the face of transnational criminal organization, the worst type of crimes that we hear about all the time and even face and even live through. So I think that's really important, and that because her husband is the money launderer, right? He's a finance money launderer. Um, he has his name Marco Antonio Zewata Osuna. So he is really the money laundering arm, which means that he absolutely was in connection. There's not a doubt in my mind. Okay, let's do this. 99% he was working with Jeffrey Epstein. Okay, 99% because when you're making that kind of money illegally, right? You have to wash it. You have to develop a system where you can clean up that money so that you can use it. And of course, Jeffrey Epstein was, the king of money laundering. And it sounds like her husband was also like a king of money laundering. And so, um, President Trump having an interest in her and having the power to tear the security apparatus in Mexico apart, really just blow it up. Really, there's not a security apparatus anymore for these high level criminal operatives, right? That's so she. I think he was digging for information from her, okay, and probably from her husband. So that was really huge news, and we'll give you continued updates on that because also um, for March 2026, he has deployed 12,000. President Trump has deployed 12,000 troops to the border. This means not only has the Mexican government failed, right, in their sovereignty that they are a narco state and that they have no security apparatus anymore because it was so corrupt. And President Trump um, has the receipts, and he has so many receipts that he was able to destroy um, that security apparatus to be able to arrest Monica Zapata. Okay, and so that's what tells you. And also in the United States too, the California, Arizona, New Mexico, and Texas governors have failed. That's what those 12,000 troops mean. And it means, especially with this arrest of Monica, that they're already operating in Mexico. Okay, they're already operating in Mexico. So that's huge, huge news. Um, let's turn this off, or let's go to Facebook and just go through the posts that I put up. Oh, yes, this is a huge post. Okay, so we have here Deborah Knopf. Deborah Knopf is an assistant U.S. attorney in the federal prosecutor's office there in El Paso for the Western District of Texas. Now, we have confirmed that she is the leaker. She is the leaker for the Julio Cordero case. And Julio Cordero, which we found that amazing picture of him. Look how strong he looks. He looks just like so amazing. Let me come in on this. Let's see if I can get it big. I don't know how big I can get this. Anyway, please go to the Facebook and really look at this picture of Julio Cordero. So he didn't mess around, y'all. He didn't mess around. I think he could have been like Richard's brother. They look very similar, don't you think? Um, so anyway, that strong, determined and moral look, right? So I really like this picture of Julio Cordero. So Julio Cordero was calling the Western District of Texas Federal Prosecutor's Office there in El Paso. And it was uh, Deborah Knopf that leaked the call, right? The call, absolutely. Matter of fact, um, yeah. So I think that is, oh my gosh, really, really important information because soon after he was killed, soon after he was killed, you know, um, yeah. So I'm just doing something real quick that I remembered that I needed to do. And as I was speaking, I remembered I needed to change something in here because, everything that you put out there, you have to check and double check to make sure everything is absolutely right, right? Everything is absolutely right. So, and I've been told, no, you don't have to make sure everything is right um, because there we go. Now I'm good. So, eh, because you're not the investigator, you're the Gold Star family. The FBI need to be investigating. The police need to be investigating. The DPS need to be investigating, right? But see, they've they're compromised. So I wanted to. I fixed I fixed what I needed to fix, so I can go back to it now. So this is really breaking news, and I'm sorry I hesitated with it because there's so much information coming to us, and we're just trying to confirm things and get it out to everybody as soon as we can for the safety of that information. It needs to be out there. So your sharing is very, very important to secure the information. The more shares, the more the information is secured. And for this to come out that he was reaching out because he said there were two philanthropists left on his poisoned ponds list that were at large. And when Richard's um, uh, board of inquiry came out and designated Richard as deceased on April 24th, 2024, on Fort Bliss, he got motivated. That is what our information is telling us. And so he was absolutely investigating. And so he was reaching out to the Western District of Texas Federal Prosecutor's Office. And once you're an FBI agent, you're always an FBI agent. So he was talking with them. And it was Deborah Knopf that leaked his call. And that is because soon after that, he was killed. And execution style, you know, that's, yeah. Um, something is not right there. I don't know. Something is not right. So, yeah, that is a shocking. Here is our post. Yeah, not one story is just as shocking as the other. This is the story of the Sinaloa cartel heiress, Monica Zambada. Um, the big part of this story that people also have to know that's so dramatic is that El Mayo, the lawyer, Ray Velarde, was sent to pose as a lawyer to help Richard. Is he a lawyer? He's a lawyer. But to pose that he was helping. Okay. Um, the evidence indicates that he was counterintelligence because it was soon after um, this meeting with Richard, that Richard was um, lost his life on Fort Bliss. So, this is a billionaire that sends his lawyer because if you're a billionaire, um, that lawyer works for him. And to target Richard and what seems to be counterintelligence, like, I'm here to help you. Tell me everything you know. Tell me everything you know. You can trust me. Um, is really the ultimate counterintelligence for these young soldiers, right? Where you have a lawyer coming in, and the JAG allowed it, right? The JAG allowed this. And don't tell me that the JAG didn't know that Ray Velarde was El Mayo's, the billionaire cartel kingpin of the Sinaloa cartel lawyer. Don't tell me that the JAG didn't know. Um, so this was, it's a very, very big deal because it really implicates even the military JAG and the military leadership. Absolutely. So, yeah, that's something that you need to know. And that tells you that Richard knew a lot and he was absolutely reporting a lot. And that's why he lost his life. So I hope you read that. Here it is. I try to get as close as to Richard as possible looking. Um, but Ray Velarde, yeah, trust me, I'm here to help you. Tell me everything. When you have El Mayo and there's Monica right beside him. Yeah. Yeah. It's a big deal. This is about the Cancun organ harvesting network that's being exposed. And um, this need to stop this. And you see that President Trump is the one that is actually making movements to stop it. 12,000 troops on the border, and they are already in Mexico. That's big news too. Tulsi Gabbard. Um, Tulsi Gabbard has been using this designation now, TCO. I've been using FTO to describe the cartels, and she's really using TCO, transnational criminal organizations. And I think that better subscribe describes it, but I like the terror in there because they do bring terror, right? So maybe it should be TTCO, right? The Transnational Terror Criminal Organizations. Maybe that's what it should be, because when you have the likes of La Diabla, the organ harvester, baby uh, harvester with the illegal C-sections and everything, when you have, when you're kidnapping young um, teenagers for their organs and stuff, yeah, uh, it's terror. It's absolutely terror. And all the children that were trafficked, that's terror. That's absolutely terror. And all the things that they do, is terror. Um, so I did want to put that up there because she um she was in Congress and she was just dropping one truth bomb after the next. She's a remarkable woman. She really is. Tulsi Gabbard you know, until we she's been doing so much. Um, and under mutiny, when you see the way that they're questioning her, they're not on her side. They're not trying to work with her. They absolutely despise her because they're compromised. They're absolutely compromised. And they don't want her to succeed, to take down these TCOs, right? These TTCOs, right? They don't want her to because they're compromised. I mean, and it's so clear when you watch um, the whole exchange on Congress. Take some time to watch it. It is just amazing how vile and vulgar they are against fighting crime, organized crime, and all that goes with it. I mean, the terror that goes with it. They are absolutely trying to defend it, and yeah, cover for it. So that is really huge, huge news. And so, yeah, we have the Tulsi Gabbard, we have the organ harvesting, of course, the Ray Velarde, and this arrest of Elmayo's daughter. That it just, yeah, that tells you just the arrest itself. I think that there are some philanthropists that are kind of shaking in their boots. I think they're panicking. I think they are, especially when you see 12,000 troops headed for the border. And then, of course, you see um, a compromised AUSA in the Western District of Texas. Um, yeah, this is so criminal. And the whole thing with Joe Kent, y'all, and I'll and this whole thing with Chavez, right? That's coming out, and I'm going to address those too. It's just the information. If you have information on Joe Kent and on Chavez, they're trying to um, erase him. And yeah, so any information on that would be very, very helpful. So thank you so much. And of course, Bob Moore is being sued. He's going to be sued. Oh, that is so good. Yeah. And our cases are going to be epic, y'all. We're working very hard behind the scenes. And so please share all the information because that also helps our case. To share the information, to get out there, and by us doing this, we're helping so many other people as well, not just ourselves. And our mission is to get accountability for our son and to get our son's remains home. That is our mission. And what they did to Richard was an act of war. And so these are vicious negotiations. And, that's why we need all the support that we can get. So please share and thank you so much. And I think that Laura has just been translating in Spanish since it's so that's so wonderful. That's so wonderful. Thank you so much, Laura. And God bless you. And I will be back tomorrow, God willing. Bye bye.